So what's going on? It's the middle of July, and Kaijun is done, success, hit every day, great, and a good chunk of those in the beginning were for the sketch card project I'm working on that is due the end of July. I have 5 completely done out of 30 that need to be done. I have the digital roughs, which is the hardest part for me, all done, and I just got done printing them all out to size on this paper. I will then scribble on the back with a pencil to create a makeshift like carbon paper, and then I will cut them out and tape them to blanks and transfer them and so on and so forth. I did several in a row and brought them to completion, and then I remembered that I like being an assembly line worker. That's not always true, but if I have one thing I'm working on, then yeah, bring it to completion is fine. But when I have many, especially like this is like a different art style and different technique than what I usually do, except for when I'm doing this. It's a very specific thing I'm doing that's different. Even if the style at the end might look similar to other things I've done, it feels very different. And so I can, now that I've printed these out, I could put on some YouTube videos and mindlessly color on the back, cut them out, spend an hour or so prepping these without any stress, get them all ready, tape them on the cards, and then start transferring them, and then start inking them, and then start coloring them. And I might just do that, instead of finishing one at a time, I might just go through and do it that way. That way I get in the groove of tracing to transfer. Then I get in the groove of inking. Then I get a groove of coloring, you know, and I feel like when I work on comics, that helps me too, because like I'll do all the layouts and all the pencils and all the inks, then, you know, the grayscales or whatever. So I don't know. I don't know if it actually helps me be a better artist. I feel like it does in terms of getting into the groove, but it also psychologically makes me feel like instead of, I've got 30 things to do, well, now I've got 25 to do, I think more like, I've got like 4 or 5 big jobs. I printed them all out. That's one job down. Now I cut them out. That's another job, you know, and so of course the later jobs are going to be harder and take longer, but I don't know. This is a way I like working and it helps me. This weekend is G-Fest, which I'm not going to, which most Godzilla artists are not going to. For a variety of reasons, the biggest of which is that they're not allowing you to sell anything Toho Godzilla related, like prints or anything, which did not come from Toho. It comes from the people who run the show and doesn't come from other people who run shows. And I know the whole fan art thing is a legal gray area, but it's sort of weirdly targeted at a show for Godzilla against Godzilla artists. Why, I don't know. I mean, there's rumors and things, and I don't know the truth, but it seems kind of oddly malicious. And not me personally being targeted, but just Artist Alley in general. There's other reasons too, but anyway, I probably wasn't going anyway. But with the way things are with COVID and everything, I'm not going regardless, I guess, this weekend. And then next weekend is San Diego Comic-Con, which I'm not going to. And a lot of things that I'm not going to. Yeah, and so, but I got to get this done. And I've very much been having I've been having a hard week. I've been having, life is pain! This week, in addition to all the other stuff going on, tech advisor Erzuki injured her foot extremely badly. It wasn't broken, but it was strained to the point where it's like a big purple and yellow mess now, and she wasn't able to get out of bed other than to go to the bathroom for the last week, which means that I had to do all the jobs that she normally does in addition to my own jobs and new jobs taking care of her in bed. And that's been a little over a week now. The hope is that Monday she'll sort of not be healed up, but be able to walk downstairs and start taking care of things herself. It'll still be extra work on me, but not as much. This week was tough. Anyway, so I plan on getting a lot of this done this week. That didn't happen. But I've been having a lot of grass is greener on the other side, which happens to me all the time. I'm working on these sketch cards. I'm like, man, I wish I could work on some art prints, or I wish I could work on my comic or whatever. And I know when I'm done with this and I start working on my comic or an art print or whatever I'm working on, I'm be like, boy, I wish I could be working on that other thing. Or boy, I wish I had some more sketch cards. Like, that's just, I don't know. It's how I am. I think that's how a lot of artists are. But yeah, that's where I'm going. That's what's happening right now. Okay, so let me put this down. Okay, I just finished the carbon with my pencil, you know, on the first 4. I'm doing 4 up now. Previously, in the very beginning, I did 1 up, and then I started doing 2 up. I'm like, wait, why don't I do 4? Saves time, it saves money, supplies, the planet. This took a little under 10 minutes. So let's say I we'll say 9 minutes, between 9 and 10 minutes. So we'll say 9 minutes, we'll say 10 minutes because I might slow down as I go. So that means 5 for 2. That means 2.5 minutes to treat each one of these cards. And I have, well, I don't have 30 now, but theoretically I have 30. So 30 times 2.5, that's 25 minutes. Times 3 is 75 minutes. That's an hour and 15 minutes of time just doing this. And I've talked before about the inefficiency of my methods, but they are what they are. I bought some carbon paper online because I figured that I just slip it between it. It'll save me so much time. An hour and 15 minutes per 30 cards. You know, it's not, yeah, what's an hour and 15 minutes? But time is money. And, you know, also wear and tear on my hand. But the carbon paper I got, it worked to transfer, and luckily I tested it, but then when I went to erase it, it didn't really erase that well. And the whole idea is that I then ink them and color them, and I don't want black smeary lines underneath. So I returned that, and I got my money back, because it said you could erase, and it didn't. I've said this before, but if somebody knows a good carbon paper that is actually erasable like regular pencil, please tell me. I've also had the thought, but it's too late to do it now, of getting some bigger pencils, like a carpenter kind of style pencil with a big thick end, but then I gotta like shave it with an X-Acto. So again, if you have a better solution there, I'll take that advice too. But I'm not gonna keep filming this, but yeah, 2.5 minutes each time I do one of those, not including all of their labor, so poopy. I did four of those sheets, I think, so like 40 minutes of artwork was just doing that. And I am out of the house in a rare excursion going to see Thor. Second weekend it's out, which for me is like amazing lately. And I'll be stopping at Sonic. I think I did the last video I did, I think, when I went to see Jurassic Park. So it's a very similar thing. And yes, that's what I go do now. Come along with me. Anyway, here I am at Sonic, and once again had trouble with the microphone. I'm wondering if I'm parked maybe 2 feet maybe away from the thing, and maybe I'm supposed to be closer, because last time I literally had to get on my hands and knees and shout into it, and this time I was speaking loudly and clearly, and she just kept mishearing me, like everything I said, like, so I don't know, maybe I'm supposed to park right up onto it, but that seems not right, because politeness, personal space for the sign, you know what I mean? Anyway, unlike last time, I'm very clear that I'm going to see Thor, and I'm very clear that I'm going to eat a bunch of food in my car, and then have another 45 minutes to wait for the movie to start. But I have YouTube to watch. I thought about bringing my iPad to draw, but I feel like lately, every time I bring my iPad somewhere with me, I'm not able to draw, and then I'm just frustrated that I can't draw, and annoyed that I have the iPad with me, and then I'm worried about, you know, it's an expensive thing, I don't want to like leave sitting around, so I'm just carrying around an iPad. And so I didn't do that. Maybe I should have. You know what I should have done? I should have brought the papers with the photocopy or the printouts that I needed to put the graphite on the back of, because that doesn't take a lot of mental and emotional energy. It's just like busy work, and if I lost them, it'd be a little bit of a bummer, but I just print them out again. That's what I should have done. I guess I'll just have to enjoy my free time.
Tacky kind of feeling, so I wanted to meet people. I wanted to have a normal.
All right, radio. So I am here. I have my Sonic, and I have my spot, which you wouldn't know it, but I'm almost an hour early, and that's how crowded it gets here that quick. So not the ideal movie-going experience, but the Sonic. Yes. Good color. Nice night. Ate all my food, ate all my ice cream, just used the lovely restroom. I think I got about 15 minutes before the movie starts, so timing worked out pretty okay. Yes. So that was Sunday. Monday, I got nothing done. Today is, wait, no. What's today? So that was Saturday. Sunday, I got nothing worth talking about done. Today is Monday. I got not much done. I did some more carboning on the backs of the papers. It's been a mess here. It's been just a mess. Flash kablam, it's Tuesday. Hi, it's Tuesday. Light out. I'm in the same place, but time. Anyway, Yesterday was not a good day, and the last 2 weeks have been not amazing. Today is a better day. Not a great day, but in comparison, it's fine. Have I done any work today? No, I was about to sit down and finish carbonizing those other things. And I got a notice from Etsy that 3 of my prints had been taken down due to rights infringement from the CBS Corp or whatever. And I was like, what is this? And it was weird because on my actual Etsy shop, there's nothing in my inbox. There's no notifications. Like on YouTube, when you get a strike, it's like, look at this. And I had this email that if I hadn't noticed, I wouldn't even know. But 3 have been taken down. There were 3 of my Ninja Turtle art. Now, for those that don't know, I don't have a ton of Ninja Turtle art, but the main thing I have is the 4 turtles as well as Slash and Metalhead as like punk rockers, a la the Misfits. 3 of those 6 were taken down, which is even weirder. Like, why only 3? But and YouTube has an appeals process, which is like semi-automated, and like you try, and then if they say you could try again, and then it's like, oh, you might be in trouble if you keep trying. This was just like they were immediately taken down. There was no appeals process. They're even saying that they might like withhold money for other prints. Like, I don't even understand. Like, they didn't, but they're like, we have the right to do that too. It's like, okay, I don't get that, but okay. But so I just spent the time, they're like, well, email this person. I'm emailing somebody at CBS or whoever owns, the brand man. They're not going to write back. But I said to them basically like, hey, you just requested 3 of these get taken down, and there's no logo, there's no identifying mark, there's no words on them at all. And they're Ninja Turtle inspired punk rockers done in black and white in my style with a splash of 1 color each. In my opinion, they are sufficiently parody and or transformative that no one is going to think that these are the real thing, and this should be all fine. Maybe I'm wrong, but like, it's funny because a lot of this stuff I have is like a lot more questionable, but this seems pretty straightforward. Like, it's like when you see Adventure Time crossed with Futurama on a shirt. It's like, well, you mash 2 things up, that almost makes it okay immediately, and I mashed 2 things up. So anyway, I said all this, and I'm like, so please revoke your request or tell me the specific nature of my infringement, which is another thing that can be tricky. I've complained about it, other people complain about it. There's always this thing of like, well, what is infringement? What's the line? Whether it's YouTube or art prints or whatever, and no one ever wants to really give the line for legal reasons that whatever, part of, because then people will know how much they can get away with. It's like, yeah, well, otherwise we might be stepping over that line without realizing it or know how, whatever. So anyway, I sent them the letter, but before I did that, I also deactivated the other few Ninja Turtle art things I have so that they don't accidentally go after, not accidentally, so they don't vindictively go after those. But I'm going to give it a week or 2, and then I'm going to change the titles and put them back up. And maybe I had like not on the art print itself, but in the title, I may have written Ninja Turtle, or I may have written Leonardo, or something that triggered it. So I'm just going to be more vague with my wording. And if they don't get back to me, I'll just put them back up and see what happens. Etsy has a thing that says like repeated violators might get their shops shut down, but this will only be my second one if it happens, and then I'll be like, okay, well, lesson learned. And if Etsy shut my shop down, sad to say, it wouldn't be that much of a blow. My Etsy shop does better than it ever has, and that's still like a couple $1,000s a year. It's it's kind of like the YouTube channel. Like I consistently put work into it, but it never really goes anywhere. And yeah, it'll be a bummer if it disappears, but it's not really going to affect my life that much. So anyway, that's what I was doing instead of working on art now. It's Wednesday morning. I didn't get anything done yesterday. I did actually hear back from the brand manager contact or whatever about the prints that I had asked about, like in less than a day. So that was very surprising and gratifying. Less gratifying was that they basically were like, oh, who are you? What listings were taken down? What's your ID? Which, fair enough, but you would think that I don't know. I thought I gave them enough info. But so anyway, I copied and pasted the 3 links that have been taken down, but they've been taken down. Like when I got the notification, it was like, here are the listings that are in question, and they're just gone off the internet. They're not even like in a backup file somewhere or whatever. And that's not the end of the world, but there's nothing I could point them to. So I said, well, these are the 3 that were taken down that you should have a copy of because these are the ones that you pointed to, but there's nowhere I can point you to. And then I was like, and my name is Gazbot on Etsy, and that's the only ID I can give you. And so now I haven't heard back from that. So there's that. Now today, I'm in the process of getting a root canal redone. This is the second root canal I've had redone. I'm trying to remember if I have 2 root canals or 3, but I already had one redone, and I'm having another one redone, or possibly the same one. I've lost track. I don't know why or how. They just tell me these. It's not like I've had tooth pain. But I also often, they're just like, oh, this is a mess. You better take it taken care of. And I'm like, okay, I guess it seemed okay. And it's kind of like taking your car to the mechanic. Like, I hope they're honest because I have no idea. Money and pain aside, it's just like, okay, I guess we're doing it. So anyway, this will be the third treatment, whatever. So I went in a few months ago and got a cleaning and an exam, and they're like, yeah, we think you got a problem under here. You have to go to a specialist. And so I went to the specialist, and I thought I was going for a consultation. They're like, all right, let's start drilling. I'm like, oh, I thought I was only gonna be here for a minute. I guess I better make arrangements to be here for an hour or two. And so they like re-drilled into it and whatever. The point is, I twice had to go and get like major stuff done, and it's done, but has a temporary filling. So now I have to go back to the dentist, my regular dentist, and they're either gonna replace just the filling or the whole, it's like a fake tooth on top of my tooth, like a cap, I guess you call it, or a crown or whatever. But the endodontist, who's the specialist, is like, yeah, they'll let you know which one of those two things they're going to do. And when I called my dentist, they're like, which one of those are we doing? I'm like, I don't know. No one's ever discussed this with me. I don't know the difference in cost, time, pain. Is one better than the other for some reason? I have no idea. And so they're like, oh, okay, well, whatever. It'll be like an hour or so either way. So I'm going in for that. Don't know which I'm getting done. I know it'll be there an hour, but I don't even know if they're numbing me up or if I don't know what's going to happen. And that's just great. But anyway, that's going to take a big chunk of my day today, so I don't know how productive I'm going to be. Over the weekend, theoretically, was Tech Advisor, Airzuki. Hopefully her foot was better enough that we can kind of get back to normal schedule. Was not the case. I was able to go see a movie only because my mom, who now lives near us, was able to kind of take half of her shift, help her out so that I could get out of the house a little bit, but it still was a thing where I had less free time than I normally had, and I just used it to go to the movie to like purge my brain. And then Monday, things were supposed to get back to normal, but her hurt foot was acting up again, and she's got some other issues with her side, and she's falling apart, and I'm falling apart. We're all falling apart. So that's that. And I kind of skipped over that, and then went to Tuesday. Now today's Wednesday. Yeah, it's a thing.
Now, let's do more robots. Let's get more robots down here.
Well, once again, credit for promptness. I got an email back already. This was yesterday that I emailed them. They emailed me back. I emailed them last night and got it back again. But their answer is, all characters, artwork, and imagery assets from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles TV show produced by Paramount Global, formerly known as Viacom CBS, are protected by copyright, which is true. It doesn't exactly say where the line is, which again is sort of what I expected, unfortunately. So now I have a couple choices. One, now that they've looked at it, I wait a few days and I put up the other four or so Ninja Turtle prints that they didn't notice for some reason. Two, I just stopped doing all Ninja Turtle stuff. Three, I wait 2 weeks or so and put it all back up there renamed and hope I don't get flagged again. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Right now, I'm just going to leave it as is and keep everything down, and I'll decide later. So as you can see, what I've decided to do with the time is continue my assembly line situation and cut these all to be ready to be taped onto the sketch cards. And the way I do that is I separate the four from the one sheet, and then I cut off the bottom and one side so that I could fold over the top on one side and keep it in place with some artist tape. As a point of interest, it takes about 1:20 to do all the cuts for four. So that's 40 seconds each, 20 seconds each. 20 seconds each, yeah, 20, yeah, something like that. So let's say half a minute each. So unlike the 2.5 minute process of putting the carbon on the back, this isn't that big a deal. So if I could eliminate the putting the carbon on the back, it would still save me a lot of time, even with all the cutting and presumably the taping I'll be doing in a minute too. Well, at some point. Oh, hello there. X-Acto knife. Yes. So The last 2 weeks have been not great for a variety of reasons. Today has been the best day I've had in a few weeks. Got a decent night's sleep. Not great, but decent. Had just an easy day. All the stuff I have to do just sort of went right and everything kind of... Well, I did find some ants in my kitchen, so that wasn't great, but I don't think it was a huge infestation. I cleaned it up and I called Terminex, and they're going to come out Friday to make sure it's not a bigger problem than it seems. That being said, I'm still in good spirits for a variety of reasons. One of which is I had to go to the dentist for part 3 of a root canal, and I thought they were going to have to redo the whole crown and this whole big thing. But no, they just did the filling. They even did the initial numbing, not where they give me the needle, but like where they just rub it on. And then the dentist came in and was like, oh, we could just do the filling. We don't even need to give you a needle to numb you. Just drilled it out, put it in. I thought I was going to be there for an hour and a half and all numb and everything. So about 10 minutes total. Then I got Dunkin' Donuts on the way home, feeling good. And on top of everything else, this package came, which I was not expecting. And I'm like, what is this? And then I saw it was from my buddy Bob Johnson. Bob Johnson, among other things, he has a podcast, Planet 8. I always get it wrong. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Planet 8. Planet 8? I'll double check that. But he also runs Godzilla Night at the San Francisco theater, I was going to say the old theater, the Balboa. And he is one of the founders, owners, whatever you're going to call it, of Bay Area film events. And I have been dealing with them for a very long time, both as associates in business and Godzilla, and as friends and stuff. So the last show I did before I moved out of the Bay Area, and before it was the last show I did pre-COVID and everything, was a Godzilla show at the Balboa. And he asked all of the artists if they would be interested in designing a shirt, and I did it. And he'd given me 2 or 3 comp ones at the time. One for me. I think I gave one to my buddy, the big dog, Alex, and one to tech advisor, Arizuki. And he had said, oh, I might have some more or whatever. Unbeknownst to me, boom, here comes some more. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4. And these are the original because they just reprinted it, and it's basically the same, but where it's purple is green on the new ones. Be cool if I get some of those too, but this is a nice unexpected treat. So let me see how many. This is an extra large. I'm betting they're all extra large, if I had to guess. Extra large, and extra large. So I got 4 extra large. And these are not to be sold. These are for friends and family, things like that. Maybe I'll do a giveaway. I don't know. Would anybody out there be interested in an extra large Godzilla shirt that I did as a giveaway? Maybe I could figure some fun way to deal with that. But if not, I got plenty of people I know that would want them. But that was really cool and unexpected. So I'm pretty stoked about that. And it also makes me think, ooh, maybe I'll get some of those new designs and not just extra large because I don't wear an extra large, for example. But that was a fun thing. I'm going to see if I can get something more productive done art-wise. Let's see. I only have a little bit of time, but I have energy and a little bit of opportunity. Hey, it's Thursday morning. Yesterday, I think I said this was like the best day I've had in weeks for a variety of reasons, but energy levels, certainly in the last couple of weeks for a variety of reasons, as I said, energy levels being one of them. I was just like firing on all cylinders, but not in a hyper caffeinated way. I was just like, okay, I got a lot of energy today. So I got a lot of stuff done. Fortunately, not much art done. I did finish cutting everything out for the sketch cards. I'm just trying to get through these sketch cards, and then I will be focusing on other things. Exactly what I'm not sure. My mind, I think this comes out like I want to work on the horror, but there's a couple prints that I'm like almost done with that I could just finish and get up at my store to get some revenue, more new interest in things. And then it's like, oh, I want to do some art studies. I want to practice my anatomy, or I want to try inking somebody else's work, and who knows what I'm going to do. But once I get done with the sketch cards, I will not be beholden to anyone for any artwork. And so the world shall be my oyster. Thursday, late. It's 2:30 in the afternoon. Unsure. I wasn't sure if I was going to do this. I'm making stacks of taped on paper. I was going to not do it, but I have all these cut out pieces in a pile, and I'm like, that's just going to get knocked over. It'll be better to handle a stack, and it furthers the sort of assembly line that I wanted to do anyway. But I timed it, so to do 4 was 3.5 minutes, which means to do 2 is 1.75 minutes. So to do 1 is less than a minute, put it that way. Again, time adding up, but nothing takes as much as the drawing on the back of the cards. If I could eliminate that, that could save the most time. That being said, it's completely inefficient. I'm not saying I would never do sketch cards again. I am saying I would never do 30 again. The next series, I'll probably agree to do 10 if I'm asked. Interesting in going with the theme of me miscounting and losing track of things. I got done putting all of the roughs that have been graphited, did it up, carbonized, onto the sketch cards with the aforementioned artist tape. Yet, I have one left, and I thought, oh, I miscounted the cards, but I counted, and there was 25, and I've already finished 5 completely. So I had 31 pieces of finished digital rough art that I was going to transcribe. So now I have one left, which means, and I don't want to not use this one because I have mostly Kaiju and just a couple Ultra 7 and Ultraman Jack. This is one of them. So I want to make sure to put an Ultraman Jack in, so now I have to choose not to do one of the other Kaijus. And my first thought was, well, I'll do all 31, whichever one is the worst, I won't do that one, and then I'll sell that or whatever. But then I thought, no, because I have a deadline, I just got to pick 30, and then I'll do another one as a sketch card to sell later, whatever. I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to be done for now. Another phase stuck through. If I could do more later, great. But for now, chip away. Still Thursday, the 21st of July. I just realized it's the 21st, which means at best I've got 8 or 9 days to get this all done. And I don't even think I have that long. I think I should have it done a little sooner. But anyway, I just transferred 2, which amounts to me basically tracing over it. And then, you can kind of say, oh, look underneath, huh? And I'm going to just blow through and trace all those too. So 5 completely done, 2 transferred, and then however many more that I got to transfer. But I'm going to end this video. I said I wasn't going to do any more of these bloggy types, but I want to keep in touch. I want to keep myself accountable. I just want to keep doing this. And until I get this done, it's kind of all I could think about. And I've had a couple ideas for more focused, like a subject or a topic, but it takes more effort than I have time for right now. So there's this. And, for those of you that are watching, I guess you like it. And if you're not watching, well, then you don't see this. Saturday. I had stopped the video. I may have even leave that in, but I'm just pushing on. I sort of changed. I did 5 cards that I did 5 finished cards. Then I transferred 5 cards, and it took a while. And I thought about maybe I better start just finishing these. And so I finished 1. So I have 6 finished cards. And then in the meantime, I was able to multitask some other stuff and transfer 4 more cards. And I just finished transferring 1, and I was thinking how long this takes. I just transferred 1 that took me 10 minutes. That's the one I have up. And this one's maybe a little bit more on the complex side, but I'm still dumbing it down from the original drawing, which always comes back to I shouldn't have made the original drawing so complex because it's not going to translate, which is true when I do comics and everything else. But anyway, 10 minutes to transfer, and I think the previous math was 2.5 minutes to graphite the back. So let's say in the 30 seconds, so let's say 13 minutes average to, let's say 15 minutes. 15 minutes to prep the file, print it to size, cut it out, tape it, do the graphite, and transfer it. On average, 15 minutes a card. None of that is drawing time, although some of it is drawing some tracing. That is not counting the digital drawing, and that is not counting the final drawing. So if I have 30 cards, which I do, at 15 minutes each, that's 150 minutes times 3, 300. Wait, am I doing this right? 15 minutes? Seems like a lot. Oh, I'm going to depress myself here. Okay, so 15 minutes per card times 10 is 150. Times 3 is 450. So 450 minutes. What's 45 divided by 6? I don't know. Hey, Siri. 7.5 hours. So basically a full day's work. A full day's work that isn't the rough drawing and isn't the final drawing. It's just in between steps. That's depressing. Anyway. So here's the real end of the video. I finished that one sketch card, this one right here. Took me 48 minutes. At one point, if you were watching the speed up, you might have seen me just sort of stop and hover. That was because I had to pull up a reference for the color, so I wasn't just stopping. It was 48 minutes straight, including having to pull up the reference for color. The funny thing is, it says Ultraman on the bottom of all these cards, or on the side, depending on what orientation I do. I almost never integrate that at all. I usually just work around it and let it be on there. Once in a great while, I'll make a border around it. This one, in the rough, which is somewhere else now, I had it so that the tentacle was wrapping around it, and then on the other side I had some black, and I had planned it out really sophisticated for me at least. And as I was transferring it and looking at it, I realized I was mostly done, and I'm like, why do I have this black bar? And I went, oh, I transferred it on the wrong side. It should have gone like this so that the tentacle was holding on to the logo of Ultraman and the black bar was on the other side. But I was so far gone that I already had so now it's just like a interesting design element I've put there for some unknown reason. It's fine and no one would know, but it's just whatever. So that's the end for now. I have, what, six done? I lost track now. Six or seven done. I have a lot of work to do. Don't do sketch cards.